A gathering of squad cars, with alarms moaning, escort a rescue vehicle to Los Alamos Memorial Hospital. They are conveying an unidentified 50-year elderly person with corrosive consumes to the face. He is put on a respirator in light of the fact that the harmful exhaust from the corrosive have singed his lungs and in this way undermined his capacity to relax. A detective endeavors to talk with him, requesting that he recognize himself and contemplating whether he is a piece of a satanic faction. He gets no answer. A medical caretaker calls him to the front work area to accept a call from the secretary in the entryway who reports that the man's little girl is getting some information about him. Hearing an unexpected change in the blaring of his respirator, the medical caretaker gets back to the man's room and shouts. The man has leaped out of his 10th floor window to his demise, leaving just a note that peruses "I am sorry, Abby." 14 days sooner, 12-year-old Owen is sitting alone in the snow-shrouded patio of his high-rise, singing to himself until his mom calls him for supper. Owen's folks are currently a frightful separation, and Owen is in many cases left to eat alone and entertain himself by playing alone in his room. One night, he sees a young lady about his age and her dad moving into the loft nearby to his. Strangely, she is wearing no shoes. The following day at school, Owen is singled out as expected by three more established young men, Kenny and his companions Mark and Donald. Out of dread, weak Owen doesn't retaliate, despite the fact that they give him a wedgie, making him pee on himself. That night, as he sits in the patio practicing blade assaults on his victimizers, he sees the new young lady, Abby, watching him. She is not agreeable and lets him know right off that they can be companions. Not long a while later, her dad strolls through the yard, follows them, then delivers them oblivious, then he strings them up by the feet, cuts their jugular veins, and gets the blood in a container. Snow, spilling the blood on the ground. The following night, Abby and Owen run into one another again in the yard. Yet again he sees that Abby isn't wearing shoes. Likewise, her stomach is snarling wildly, and she smells unpleasant. All things considered, Owen imparts to her his Rubik's S shape and tells her the best way to work it. After Owen has headed inside, Abby goes hunting. She holds up in the shadows under a scaffold. At the point when a man strolls by, she pretends falling and requests that he help her. The man gets her, aiming to convey her to her home. Abruptly, Abby hooks onto him and nibbles his neck. Father is enraged when Abby lets him know what she has done, yet he obediently tidies it up by unloading the casualty's body into a little lake. The next morning as he leaves for school, Owen finds his Rubik's Cube in the yard, completely tended to. That evening, Abby is holding on for him in the porch. This time, she is more friendly and tracks down an open door to explain for Owen how she moved toward settling the conundrum. She moreover smells better, yet it's odd that she can't remember first experience with the world date when Owen asks. Since Abby hasn't the faintest idea about first experience with the world date, she doesn't laud her birthday occasions and gets no presents, so Owen offers her the Rubik's 3D square. The following day, while the class should watch Romeo and Juliet, Owen is caught up with duplicating the images for Morse code. He is subsequently faced in the restroom by Kenny, Mark, and Donald. Kenny asks what he was really going after during class. At the point when Owen won't show him, Kenny hits Owen with a metal receiving wire, raising a slash to his left side cheek. Owen later tells his far-off and non-mindful mother at supper that he fell during break. After supper, Owen meets with Abby as expected in the loft yard. At the point when she sees the band-aid on Owen's cheek, he comes clean with her about what occurred. She cautions him that he should hit them back hard and afterward they'll stop. In the event that they don't stop, Abby vows to help him. Owen imparts to Abby the Morse code that he replicated. That evening, they work on tapping on the wall that isolates their lofts. The following day at school, Owen pursues the weight training program. Afterward, he takes Abby to an arcade and to play Ms. Pac-Man. He offers her a now and later treat. From the get-go, she denies then. At that point, she attempts one. At the point when Owen finds her hurling on the walkway, he embraces her. Abby finds out if he would in any case like her on the off chance that she wasn't a young lady. I surmise, so Owen answers, not exactly understanding what Abby is inquiring. After the kinship among Owen and Abby develops, father begins feeling desirous. He attempts once more to get blood for Abby. This time he decides to conceal in the secondary lounge of an understudy's vehicle and assault him out and about. His arrangement is thwarted, be that as it may, when Jet's companion Greg requests a lift. At the point when Jet stops for gas, father assaults Greg and drives off. The striving kid makes them go over a dike and flip around, sticking father under the vehicle and killing Greg. Realizing that he is caught and going to be found by the police, father pours corrosive all over so he can't be recognized. At the point when Abby discovers that he has been taken to a medical clinic, she appears at the front counter requesting her dad. The secretary tells her that he is on the 10th floor, so she flies up to beyond the structure until she gets to his window. Father gives her access and offers her his neck. After Abby drinks his blood, he leaps through of the window and tumbles to his demise. At the medical caretaker's station outside father's room, the detective, accepting a call from the secretary in the entryway, hears the medical caretaker shout. When the investigator will father's room, he has leaped out of his 10th floor window to his demise. Abby gets back to the apartment complex and taps on Owen's window, requesting to be allowed in. Owen is practically sleeping, however he advises her to come in. Abby takes off her horrendous garments and creeps into bed with him. Owen finds out if she might want to go consistent with him, and Abby answers, "I'm not a young lady." That doesn't appear to irritate Owen, so they choose to go consistent. The following morning, Abby gets back to her own condo, yet she leaves a note for Owen that peruses, "I should be proceeded to live or remain and pass on." One evening on a school outing to a neighborhood lake for some ice skating, Kenny, Mark, and Donald again face Owen with an advance notice that they will drive him into an ice opening. This time, nonetheless, Owen defends himself and tears into Kenny's head with a major stick, making his ear drain. Simultaneously, a few different understudies have seen a body frozen in the ice. The police are called, and the body is released. Sometime thereafter, after school is out, Owen gets Abby to a mystery room, the storm cellar of the apartment complex. At the point when Abby inquires as to for what reason they're there, Owen takes out a blade and cuts his finger, proposing to blend bloods in with her. Watching Owen's blood trickle on the floor, Abby can never again stand the appetite that she's encountering now that father is done giving her blood. She tumbles to the floor and starts to slurp up Owen's blood. She at last changes into her actual vampire picture with white waterfall eyes, unappealing facial moles, and sharp teeth. Abby murmurs at Owen to disappear. When he doesn't, she runs off herself. Defeat with bloodlust, Abby bounces on the following individual who strolls by, Virginia. Luckily, Virginia's sweetheart Larry can start Abby off before she kills Virginia. Sadly for Virginia, Larry's save just implies that Virginia is ill-fated to turn into a vampire herself. She sees the change the following morning, subsequent to being bonded with 6 pints of blood. She awakens, begins to drink her own blood from her arm, and blasts into flares when the medical attendant opens the drapes. A weakling he may be, however Owen is certainly not a sham. He has sorted out that Abby is a vampire and stands up to her at her loft that night. At the point when he inquires as to whether she is a vampire, she doesn't appear to comprehend the word and she just answers, "I want blood to live." He asks her how old she truly is. Like previously, she concedes to being 12, however says that she's been 12 for quite a while. He requests the whereabouts from her father and she says that he wasn't exactly her dad. Owen finds an old photograph of Abby and father, taken when father was around 12 years of age. Abby looks simply equivalent to she does now. Worried about how she could treat him, Owen returns home. Afterward, as he's going to plunk down to the pot pie left for him by his mom, Abby thumps on the entryway. She demands to be welcomed in, yet Owen slows down. He asks her what might occur in the event that he didn't welcome her. Quietly, Abby strolls in excluded. Very quickly, her skin starts to drain. Owen rapidly welcomes her in and gives her an embrace. Subsequent to showering, Abby changes into one of his mom's old dresses. At the point when Owen's mother out of the blue gets back home, Abby quickly hurries across the window from Owen's condo to hers, despite the fact that it's 2 stories up. The following morning, Owen finds a note from Abby finding out if he might want to spend time with her that night. In the interim, in view of Larry's portrayal of Virginia's assailant, the detective has followed Abby to her loft. He breaks in and tracks down her sleeping in the bath. Since he can't find in obscurity, he tears open the foil covering the windows. Right away, Abby's skin starts to break. Owen, who was in the condo trusting that Abby will awaken, shouts no, giving Abby adequate chance to hop on the detective and drink his blood. As he lays passing on, the detective contacts Owen for help, however Owen shuts the washroom entryway and passes on him to his destiny. Subsequent to taking care of, Abby illuminates him that she should disappear before the remainder of the police appear searching for the criminal investigator. That evening, Owen glances through the window to see Abby moving into a taxi to move away. After Abby is gone, Owen gets back to his ordinary exhausting everyday practice of going to class and returning home. One night, he is going to begin swimming illustrations with Mr. Zorik. As he gets into his bathing suit and starts his illustration, Kenny, Mark, and Donald light a fire in the dumpster behind the exercise center, compelling Mr. Zorik to leave the pool region unattended. At the point when Mr. Zorik goes to extinguish the fire, they keep him out of the rec center and return into the pool. Jimmy gives Owen a final proposal: either stay submerged for 3 minutes or have one of his eyes jabbed out Owen's eye for Kenny's ear. Then Jimmy pushes Owen under. Brief passes. Out of nowhere, disorder breaks out in the rec center. According to his submerged perspective, Owen hears menaces shouting, then, at that point, Jimmy's cut-off head falls into the water, trailed by more body parts. A nearly muffled Owen surfaces and creeps of the water. He admires Abby's horrendous feet remaining next to him. She had obviously collided with the pool region through a bay window and in practically no time bit, torn guillotine dismantled, and gutted every one of the 4 domineering jerks to save Owen. Owen sits on a train going towards an obscure objective. Snow is falling outside. A huge trunk sits before him. From inside the bushel comes a rapping. Owen raps back in Morse code and afterward takes a chomp from a now and later. It is clear right now that Owen has turned into Abby's new defender and overseer, and they are making a trip to track down another life for themselves.